Hello, guys. Tonight, the part 5 of Nightly Chats. The topic will be not so much like focus on like one single thing. I'm kind of just gonna just speak my mind, just talk whatever I think of, and just draw and just draw as I do. Okay. Let's see. What's something I can talk about? Not sure. I've kind of talked about a lot already, and only like five. And posting every day is really trying to. No, is really making me think about what to post. No, not what to post, but like what to talk about and what to say. Oh, if you hear music in the background, I actually do have some like just music playing in the background, just to add when I don't speak. I don't know if you guys can hear it well on the in the video, but I hope so. I hope that when I'm not speaking that you guys hear the music and it's a little bit soothing. Okay, where's my eraser? There it is. Let's see. What to draw? Hmm. I think something I can talk about is I should just talk about my own characters. Where's Doro? Doro. There she is. There you go. There's one character. No, not one character. No. Let's just talk about my story, right? I do want to do like a full introduction of who I am because I told you guys my name in like the introduction, the intro video, my first video. I told you what I want to be and what I want to do with this channel. I told you, all the things you would usually tell someone in their first video. But I haven't really said anything about myself. But I do want to, you know, talk more about myself in the future. But, that's for another day or something. For now, I just want to talk about one. No, not which story should I talk about? Soul Sun or I think of no, okay. I should talk about the story I'm working on right now, which is in right now. Like all the things are in this single book, this journal. But it's about how could I say? Yeah, it is about. I talked about this in my other video. It's about morality, the aspects of humanity, right? Where in my story there are these things called concepts. Again, I could think of a better name, but right now I think I to me concepts are a good name for now because I'll tell you. Sorry. Concepts to me in my story are basically beings created to keep in again my story to keep balance, right? There are seven concepts in total. The concept of life, the concept of death, the concept of light, the concept of darkness, the concept of hope, the concept of despair, and then the concept of the void. I'll go one by one. The concept of life is, as you would know, life. Anything that has to do with life, but also with some specific aspects of humanity that kind of deal with life. For instance, I'll give you some examples of like things that life the things that would fall under like the concept of life: peace, nature, humans. Well, yeah, humans. That's I'm like all like basically things that you usually deem with like life or something like, oh, this is what life would be like. Again, nature, peace, not really happiness, but like these things, right? I don't know how to explain. I still need like figure out the specifics of it. The concept of death. would again like would things would fall under would be um the like souls, death, like not like well sometimes, but like things that would fall under death. I don't know how to explain it, but it's hard to explain when I'm trying to draw and talk. But it is they are basically there to keep balance in reality. So if like let's say life, like let's say humans are getting to populate, or there's an abundance of growth in one region over the other, life would interfere, would basically send either some type of natural disaster or some type of plague or something to either have one region grow and the other one die, or one region die and the other region, to keep balance. It is, again, in my story, these concepts are not good, but they're not evil. They are just doing what they are meant to do, keep balance. Even if it seems cruel to humans, you know, basically, like one region will be sentenced to like a plague, while the other one like would be able to like grow and grow. It is cruel, but to them it's not, because to this, that's how you keep balance. I should probably talk about the other ones. Death, and then yeah, light, darkness. It is it like you can see where it is. What is what, and then the things. How some things would interact with others. Like how should I put it? Light would basically anything that is deemed positive by humanity would fall under light. Anything deemed by that anything deemed negative would fall under darkness. And the same thing with life and then death. Hope and despair are, to me, the most interesting ones I've made, because they are basically humanity itself. In my story, hope and despair play big roles in how humans are. Because even in real life, hope is like one of the strongest emotions. Not like, yeah, one of the strongest emotions you could have. Besides, like, like anger or like happiness or whatever, hope can lead humans through a lot of things. Hope is what make like has some people survive. Having that like little bit of hope can keep you alive. And like wars and disasters and like and all these things that would like in you go to any like major event in humanity, there was always hope for something better. And that is one thing I want to show in my stories, that hope is a strong emotion, and is basically what humanity like relies on. The same, but also the same thing with despair. Despair is also another strong emotion, because there's again, through those same events, there will always be despair, because you always, when think like everything feels, especially during like a natural disaster, and you lose like a house or your family or a beloved animal, or whatever, you feel like it's over, like there's no point, and you just feel so defeated, so in like despair, that you just don't want to you just don't want to continue living. It's why so many people just like die through the years, because despair, they feel like there's nothing left in life, that everything's basically going downhill, right? And there's just one thing I want to show through these concepts, hope and despair specifically, how they are humanity, unlike the other concepts which are created to keep balance. With just that in mind, hope and despair were created, yes, to keep balance also, but to reflect humanity, to be a beacon to humanity. Unlike the other concepts which don't really interact with humans, or any like life on the planet, hope and despair do. hope gives hope to others. They interact with others, even if they can't fully and like interfere with how life goes. They can be a beacon to people who hope. And the same thing is with despair. With despair, they are a beacon, yes, but with for the opposite reasons. That if you fall too much into despair, if you start losing yourself, you'd start seeing them. You start seeing their light. You start falling into their arms. Also, one thing with the concepts, they're they're not human, but they resemble humans. For instance, I'll give you a rundown of like how I designed some of them. Designed, I haven't even drawn them. I can't draw a good looking eye to save my life. But this, okay, I'll go down one by one. Life is again, none of them are humans. None of them have genders. None of them, they're not humans. And you might have noticed that I referred to them as they or them or that because they are not humans. They don't abide to any of like what we think as human or gender or sexual, nothing. Because again, I want them to reflect humans, to look like humans. And you, like, for instance, life specifically, life, I described life as a like a tall, pale like woman figure, which you would think, oh, because in a lot of stories, life is usually a woman with like nature growing around her or whatever, right? And it's very common. It's understandable in a lot of mythology, a lot of stories. It's very common to have life be that. But what again? One thing is I want to make sure the comics, the concepts are to like make sure to remind anyone who's like interested, to remind them that they are not humans. And even though they do some good, they will also do some bad, because that's what they need to do to keep balance. I'm getting off topic. Life is this pale like female figure with branch well, first vines growing, like wrapping around their arms and legs. But on these vines there are thorns that would look like they're piercing through their skin, with blood dripping down their arms and hands. Then you would also with that, there are branches that are going through their arms, through their legs, and like basically like kind of like growing between their limbs and hand. Like you see them like take like my hand. You'd see them like imagine this is like an arm. No, this is a hand, right? You'll see first the vines that are wrapped around the the hand and the arm. Then you'll see branches piercing through like their skin and like going like around with these vines. And then, because again, life is not just nature, like happiness or whatever. Life can be brutal. We see this in our in nature in real life, where animals, they're all cute, they're kind, they're beautiful, but also they are deadly because they are animals. They do it to survive. You see them tearing apart each other, ripping each other's like gut, like up like limb by limb, ripping their guts, whatever. It is brutal, and I want to show that through like the how and how life looks. You can like when you first look at them, they are beautiful. They are nature, but if you take a closer look, you'll see they are bloody. The branches are piercing through their skin. Some of the like they are literally, and then okay, they are they are beautiful, but they also show the brutality in life, and how natural disasters kill a lot of people, how diseases and plagues kill a lot of people, how just living can kill you. Then you see um in their on their head, you'd have like again, like you see like branches like kind of like a top of a tree, like around the hair, acting like hair kind of, but on these imagine like a cherry blossom or something like that, kind of like a tree in bloom, like flowers around their head with like tree in bloom. Again, it's not the finalized design, but that's the what I'm going for. You'd see like the tree in full bloom flowers, but on these flowers you'll see lit like you see blood dripping to again remind everyone that hey, they are beautiful, yes, they are life, but they are also very dangerous. And then every concept has the same thing. They always have something covering their eyes. With life, they have two hands that are covered in blood covering their eyes, with blood dripping down their down their face. And the blood resembles tears, right? They're not tears, but they are when you cry, like tears would go down your cheeks, right? That is how the blood is dripping down their cheeks to resemble tears. But that's life. A beautiful, grotesque being. And a lot of people, it's very similar to like Mother Nature, right? The most common way to interpret life and nature. That is how I want to resemble the concept of life in my story. Beautiful, but very brutal. Death is a bit simpler. With death, it's not so much. I could, do like, the skeleton and right, but with death specifically, it's not a skeleton per se, and technically, but it is like you'll see like their hands are skeleton hands, and you'll see around them are like a cloak made of like the souls of not people but like of life, just like plants, animals, some humans, and like just that just around their like body, kind of like making a cloak. And if you go to their face, instead of hands or something covering their eye, it is a black, like not ribbon, but like I don't know how to say, like black bandana. It's not a band. It's like a black, like you seen like in those fighter movies or like fighting games. Ryu is one of the big, like a headband, kind of like a black headband covering their eyes. I need to like work on their design more because I don't really have like the specific details like life, but I'm tired. But that is like what they are. They are this, and like if you like, they are calm. It's not like oh they are again in death. I want to make. Why can I hear my voice in my right ear? In death, well, the concept of death in my story, I want to make sure like because death is so yes, death is scary. And like in stories, death is always this grim reaper with a giant scythe. Death is scary. It is. It is a very scary topic. It's something very scary to think about that one day we all die. But it's also something calming about it that, yes, one day we will die. And that is why we have to cherish the moments we have. Why we should not be afraid of it, but accept it as the end of our story. So death in the concept is also calm. It's also very they are not like as they are you can like at first you think oh scary like skeleton grim reaper, but they're also calm. They're not compared to life where life can be is brutal in the ways they keep balance. Death is calm where if something's unbalanced they would slowly change it, give humanity the chance to accept themselves and then pass on. And then but yeah, that's death in my story. There's light. Light and darkness are also kind of the same, where with life specifically, I want life to like be kind of like the biblical. I'm gonna jam this pencil up my biblical biblically accurate angel, kind of right. But like it's again, it's like their figure is very angel like because people deem light as angels or like usually something holy. And okay, let's see this. How can I explain it? For instance, take like a picture of an angel, right? Have it is again they look like an angel kind of, but they're more like unnat not unnatural. I don't know how to explain it, but like I'll try to describe it the best I can. So there's this like a male like figure with like angel wings all around them, basically covering them from head to toe. And on these angel wings, there are some eyes, right? Very similar to like a biblically accurate angel, where like your eyes on these wings, but not as many. And they are kind of like when you look up close, their skin is like marble, right? And like very similar to like a marble statue. And like you their face is covered again by wings, but also you'd see like golden tears running down their face. Again, I'll probably change it, but for now that's the way I'm trying to think of things. And you'll see again like life and death, there's something covering their hand and their eyes, but they're not hands or like like a ribbon. They are wings covering their face, basically like an angel. They I've got very like similarities to like an an angel. Darkness is the same, but the only difference is that their skin is marble, like is the same as marble, but it's also like you see cracks in it, and their wings are burnt, showing like the negativity that comes from what they keep balanced, because they reflect humans, right? Life reflects life, how beautiful life can be, but also how brutal it can be. Death reflects how scary death is, but how calming it can be to accept fate. Light reflects the light in humanity, their positivity, and reflects also, and light reflects humanity, the good in humanity, that humanity can be. Um, Darkness reflects the bad in humanity, reflects their negativity. But both of them have each one like both of them have for instance, the wings on light, the ones covering their eyes, are actually burnt, showing that there is good and there is bad in good, and that light just fails to see it. Darkness, the wings covering his damn it, their eye is are actually are perfect. They're clean, basically like they're like the wings that light has. They are perfect angel wings, showing that in despite humanity's fault, there is good in humanity's negativity, and that darkness sees that good. Now we go on to hope and despair. I realize I haven't explained the void. The like concept of the void is actually the most interesting. I'm running out of time. God, and I'm gonna draw in one eye. I'm sorry, guys. I really got start drawing more because I'm not even. Oh God, sorry. I'm just too focused on talking. I should like record me just drawing, and just record like a voiceover. But I'll probably do that later, like later. But then that kind of removes from like me actually speaking and drawing. So I don't know. I'll think. But anyways, the void. I know you guys. I skipped over hope and despair, but I'm gonna speak into hope and despair on the next video more, because I actually should I okay. The void is something big. So maybe I should. I don't have a lot of time. Nah, you know what? This one can go to 30 minutes. I'll be fine. Hope and despair are the same. They look the same. They are both, and unlike the other concepts where they have their own figure, they can figure like how their own look. Hope and despair are both the same thing. They look the same. They look like a statue, a marble statue, on like not even like a cracked marble statue, on their knees with their hands together like this, and their hands are to their head, and their eyes are closed with the things actually no, their hands are to their mouth. Like imagine how like you pray, right? On your knees, hands together to your chest, whatever. That is what like how the statue looks. The hands covering their eyes are actually from each other. the way you can tell is that with hope, hope is more hope is also a broken marble statue. The only difference is that hope is a more goldish marble statue. Like you'll see like a tint of like gold throughout their cracks. And the hands that cover Hope's eyes are again marble statue hands, but they're the cracks that show in their hands are like a not a dark yeah like a dark obsidian, showing that those hands are not of Hope's, they are from despair. And Hope has chains around like their arm, legs, and around their whole body that are obsidian black, and they're like glowing slightly. And then we go to despair. We go to despair. Despair has again the same position, kneeling, knees, and then the hands covering despair's eyes are like it has cracks in them, but those cracks are like in on the cracks they are gold, showing that those hands are from Hope's. And the chains that bind despair, like around their limbs, around their body, are golden, showing that those are the chains of Hope's. The whole reason I have it like that is that the hope and despair are basically one side of the coin, are one side of a coin. The people who have the biggest hope in life can also have the biggest despair when they lose that hope. And the same goes with opposite. If you have a lot of despair in your life, you can have a lot of hope in the same time, or when you lose that despair, you gain a lot of hope. They are one side of a coin, because having hope does not mean you don't have despair. Is that in that despair you have hope, and in that despair or in that hope you have despair. They are one side of a coin. You can't have one without the other. Which is why in how they look, in like their how they look are both statues, both cracks. The only difference is the colors that line the cracks, with and the chains that bind them. But each other each con like each uh, hope and despair each have something on them that come from the other. The hands of hope cover despair's eyes. The hands of despair cover Hope's eyes. The chains of hope cover like bind despair, and the chains of despair bind hope, showing that they are basically the same. They cannot be without another. Okay, whew, that's a lot. That was only six, and now we get to the void, the concept. The void is my most interesting because he is the most human, because he is not like a normal concept where he's for instance life or dark or death, light, darkness, hope, and they are specifically human, right? Despair, I mean not despair, the void isn't. Void is the in between of everything. Void is like the in he is every he they are everything and nothing. The void is yeah, the void is just that, everything and nothing. They have no body, they have no like no way of well, they can interact, but like they have no body, there's nothing to show. They are just they are nothing. They are like the in betweens of everything, the in betweens of molecules, the in between of realms, the in between of space, of time. They are in everything. They are right now everywhere and nowhere at the same time. They are like they are like basically the absence of life, the absence of death. They are everything and nothing, which also makes them, compared to the other concepts, a wild card, because unlike the other concepts who are trying to keep balance in their like try to keep balance in reality with their own thing, the void doesn't. They do their own thing. They're a wild card. Sometimes they create mischief, sometimes they try help, they just do anything they want, because they don't keep balance in anything. The void is just the void. There is no emotions in the void. There's no thoughts, feelings or anything like that in the void, which is why they're also the most. I try and make sense of them. They are like the most interesting to me because I want to like have them be a wild card where they don't play by any rules or things. But it's really hard because creating a wild card in a system is really hard, especially when the void was created to be something. But it's hard. Okay. God, I've been talking for a long time. 30 minutes. Oh, sorry. I know I didn't draw a lot today, or tonight for me, but for today for anyone who's watching. But sorry. I'll try and draw more tomorrow. But and I'll probably go into more into like my story. Um, but yeah, that's basically it for this time tonight for me. Anyways, I should really be going to sleep by now. Oh boy. If you guys hear the music, please tell me. Oh, sorry. Please tell me how good, like if it was good, better or worse, or if I should keep like music playing in the background or not. But yeah, please just if you can drop a comment, say music good or music bad or anything like that. Oh boy, I should really be going to bed. Sorry. Okay. Whew. Yeah, that's it. I only drew two eyes, so that's definitely accomplished, I guess. Okay, I've been 32 minutes basically. Okay, so that is it for tonight for me. I'm gonna head off to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you can, drop a like, a comment, or subscribe. One of those three. But yeah, that's basically it. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, or a good evening. Wait, oh wait, no, good night would come after good evening. God, okay, whatever. Have a wonderful day to anyone watching. I appreciate you guys for sticking by, staying to watch the full video, and until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.